feel free to sing along. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, but you're still searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. For spirit waits with open arms, calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. For someone just like you. Come on in, come the love you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in.
Welcome, everyone. We have a few special people here today. Well, you're all special. You're all special. Jim Chapman is going to introduce some special people who he's invited. All right. I'm just digging a hole. I invited, no way. I asked Jim Chapman, our musical director, if he would welcome in a special way 2 musicians who have come to join us today. Jim?
We are very pleased that Jennifer White and Robert McMaster have joined us today. They're no strangers to Unity. They've performed before, although in the other location. And hard to get these folks to nail them down, but we were lucky enough to do that, and I'm sure you're going to be more than entertained with Jennifer and Robert. So welcome to Unity. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you, Jim. We welcome you who are here physically in your seats, and we also welcome anyone who's viewing us from all over the world. You are special to us, and the message that we're sharing today we hope will go far and wide. And the message of your love will be shared far and wide. I invite Larry Bro, who I'm pretty sure Larry's here. He is here to come on up. He's the president of our board and was the magnificent driver to our Unity Canada conference.
Glad to be back. Small car with 4 women in it and me. That brings about a different type of spirituality. Anyway, the conference was really, really good. We had unbelievable music, Deidre and Emilio. And who's the lady on the piano? She was awesome too. Yeah. And the keyboard, yeah, she was really, really good. And the music was so uplifting. Everybody was dancing, and there was one lady from Mississauga, from Comox, and I swear she was probably 88 years old, and she made us all look like old people. She was up jiving and shaking.
Don't look now, Larry.
That part of it was amazing. A lot of very thought-provoking things that we need to work on as a congregation came out of that, and we'll probably get into more of it in the town hall next week. But we came away with the idea that, you know, as a community, we've got to quit trying to attract people into the doors and get out there and reach out to our community. That's the underlying theme of it all. Of course, we did the annual general meeting for Canada, Unity Canada. And Rev Lori is still there because she's part of the Unity Canada board, and they're meeting today and tomorrow, and she'll be back on Tuesday. So overall, it was a great conference. We were well represented, and we had 6 people there. And a lot of people don't know it, but I had a question from Teresa this morning about the congregations in Canada. We're one of the biggest congregations in all of Canada. And, well, I will tell you this. Kathy and I went to Unity of Vancouver while we were out that way. And we both walked away saying, boy, I'm glad I'm a member of Unity of London. And they have a huge church and a very large congregation. And they've got nothing that we've got. So, yeah, we have a very good reputation in Unity Canada. And that's because of the core people and this congregation that we have. You know, we are very strong. And everybody else in Canada knows that. That's a really cool feeling. One other thing I'd like to say is, and it just flew out my other ear. Anyway, enough of that announcement. Come back next week for the town hall and I'll bring it up.
Thank you, Larry. And a special message from the chair of our Love Boat, Wilda.
Okay, so we've just got a couple of weeks till our big Love Boat special event, so we're all looking forward to this. So there's 3 things I'm going to tell you about this morning. Firstly, Barb is selling tickets today in the fellowship room, so if you haven't got your ticket to this event, you get them today. Secondly, Amber is in charge of our silent auction, so get those items brought in with the little forms to tell everybody what you're bringing in. And thirdly, and what this slide is about, and thank you very much, Hilda, this was great, is that we're doing a slideshow the night of the event. So if you've got some fun slides of places that you've been on, holidays, cruises that you've been on, then please send them either to myself or to unityoflondon@hotmail.com so that we can put together just like a fun slideshow. And they don't even have to be real. I mean, if you want to create what you think would look like a great holiday, then do that. That'd be fun too. So just up here, I've just pulled up a few slides. You can hardly see it, but on the right, that's our Kathy Bro in Cartagena where we stopped, and that woman on the right actually does have a pineapple on her head. So, so just make sure that you send those in and just be part of the fun. And if you've got any questions about anything, I'm going to be around during fellowship. And so we're looking forward to a really great event. Thanks.
Thank you, Wilda. And now we move to our Unity vision. Please share together. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, we are a loving, inclusive community, co-creating with Spirit to transform lives.
It was suggested that we should mention when we're doing tunes that you folks may be familiar with, songs that have been in Unity for a while, and perhaps we've taken a little liberty here and there. We hope you'll forgive us for that, but it's sort of, these tunes are, every musician sort of interprets it in themselves, so I hope you'll bear with us if it's not exactly what you remember, but we're going to have some fun anyway. This one we've done before. What would I do if I knew that I could not fail. There you go. If I believe the wind always fill up my sail, how far would I go? What could I achieve? Trust in the hero in me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge. Fools and dreamers dare to tread. Never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What would I do today if I were brave? What if we're all meant to do what we secretly dream? And I believe we are. What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of the sea, there are miracles in you and me. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. Never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? If I refuse to listen to the voice of fear, with the voice of courage, the whisper in my ear. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge where fools and dreamers dare to tread. Never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave? If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave, what would I do today? If I were brave. Thank you.
Unity's foundation is affirmative prayer. If you'd like prayer for yourself or someone else, you can certainly use our prayer box right here at the front of the room. We have slips of paper where you can just write a first name only required on there, for Spirit knows what's best for each and every one of us, and always our highest and greatest good is unfolding. And of course, you can 24 hours a day, 1-800-NOW-PRAY, call for prayer at any time. As well as today, following service, we have a prayer chaplain on duty to pray with you in our prayer room. And if you're not sure where that is, through the fellowship hall, up 3 orange steps, and walk straight into the lovely prayer room. And today's prayer chaplain is Nick, and I invite Nick to come up and give us some prayer.
Divine spirits, I invite you all into prayer. And as we settle into that space where all our separate differences become all that is one, we touch that center of deep spiritual love flowing through all of us. And today, we want to send that deep spiritual love out to all the people who have suffered from sexual abuse. And through our divine love, flowing through them, we touch the places that hurt and start the healing process in all of us. And today we want to celebrate our coming together here in our spiritual center of Unity of London. And we want to embrace all the spiritual centers of unity throughout the world, and especially to our Unity of Windsor and our Unity of Victoria. And we also want to hold in our hearts all the spiritual communities coming together today in prayer, knowing that there is not just one single way to God, there are many paths to God. And we celebrate that union of spirit. And we take a moment now to breathe into this sacred space the names of our loved ones that we hold and cherish in our hearts. And as we look forward ahead to our week, we want to deny the power of fear over us that intimidates us to live small lives, but instead affirm our joy and zeal at going forth to do the things we are set here to do. And for that, wow, are we ever grateful? Amen.
Amen. Oh, thank you, Nick. Yeah. And now we'll read from the Daily Word. Today's word is balance. Work, play, rest, and prayer are balanced in my life today. Creating a new dimension of consciousness, one that Jesus called the kingdom of heaven, is my purpose as I move through this day. Achieving that goal requires time and commitment, and I do what is mine to do with gratitude and appreciation. However, rest, relaxation, and prayer are also elements that are vital to my spiritual well-being. My mortal mind tends to overemphasize negative, fear-based challenges at the expense of the light and love that fill my gloomiest days. Balance occurs when I surrender my mortal mind to the infinite mind of spirit within me. There, I will find my day perfectly balanced in rewarding and surprising ways amongst work, rest, relaxation, and prayer. And this is based on Ecclesiastes 3:10, verse 10-11. I have seen the business that God has given to everyone to be busy with. He has made everything suitable for its time.
We welcome to the stage, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer White and Robert McMaster.
Yes, we do. So you asked what would I do if I were brave today? I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm about to step right out of my comfort zone and push a pop tune through this instrument. And what I'm counting on is that Josh Groban released it just last week, so none of you has heard this. So you have no idea how this goes. This might be it. And Robert is going to help me out because I don't have Josh Groban's, well, I don't have his baritone, and I don't have his band. So Robert has brought along a band in a box. I'm a little envious because his chair is his instrument. Yeah. Okay. All right. Have you ever felt it all go away? If you blink, if you never stop running, you won't fall behind. So you think, and you wonder in your heart if you're still not who you are. Who are you? Nothing's as it seems till it all falls apart. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. And never take a single breath for granted. The story is yours, go write it. Tomorrow's undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. Never take a single breath for granted. Maybe it's time you bet on yourself. Listen to your heart, just listen to your heart and nobody else. So go find out who you are. If you are, who are you? 'Cause all you have to lose is your best life yet. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. And never take a single breath for granted. The story is yours, go write it. Tomorrow's undecided. Our days are counted on this planet. Never take a single breath for granted. Sometimes the greatest moments that we'll ever know are when we're letting go, so let go. And maybe our brightest days are still wait for us in the unknown. If you have a dream, go chase it. If you feel hope, don't waste it. If you find love, embrace it. And never take a single breath for granted. The story is yours, go write it. Tomorrow's undecided, not counted on this planet. Never take a single breath for granted.
Thank you, Jennifer White and Robert. What a treat. Our guest speaker today was first invited to speak by board members who saw her spiritual depth and appreciated what she had to offer. 6 months after she joined Unity, Patty McDonald decided to volunteer in the kitchen, cleaning and serving. And perhaps that most epitomizes Patty's style, because she is a server and she brings to us a refreshing warmth that helps us to clean our spirit. Patty became a prayer chaplain 2 years ago. She is an active volunteer with the Education Committee of Unity Canada, working with the Education Coordinator. She was a board member for 2 years. She is an active, vital member of our spiritual community. And today, Patty's message, Spiritual GPS, it's always turned on. Help me welcome Patty McDonald.
Am I turned on? Oh! Always, always, always. Your spiritual GPS is always turned on. Annabelle was a young girl starting school, and she suffered from ADHD. Are people familiar with that condition? So naturally, she had a difficult time focusing on a task. And that of course, made her experience at school very, very challenging for the teachers. So they got the school therapist involved, and he wondered if Annabelle might benefit from an art therapy program that he had developed with the art teacher in the school. And they had found other kids who suffer from ADHD had had some success with that. So they got the parents' permission and they enrolled Annabelle into the art therapy program. And right away, they saw that this program was going to connect with Annabelle. They gave her a pad of paper and some drawing pencils, and she locked in. She was drawing, and she focused in that first session for longer than she had focused on anything at school so far. So she worked away on her assignment, her project. Basically, it was an open assignment. Draw what you want, Annabelle. So the therapist walked over to Annabelle and said, Annabelle, what are you drawing? You're really, really engaged in your drawing. What are you drawing? She's drawing away, drawing away. She says, I'm drawing God. The therapist said, Annabelle, I don't think anyone knows what God looks like. I'm not sure that we know what God looks like. Annabelle's drawing away, drawing away, drawing away. They will in a minute. Children trust that what they know and what they feel is truth. So we have been talking about, for the month of September, spiritual GPS. And this is a 5-month Sunday, so you're gifted to have 5 talks on this topic, and we've already had 3 great speakers on it. I'm going to try and bring my own unique spin on this topic as well. So in Oprah's book, The Wisdom of Sundays, at the beginning of this chapter, Oprah tells us that she believes wisdom is recognizing the moment when what you know perfectly aligns with what you feel. So what Oprah is talking about here is vibrational alignment, harmony, that thoughts align with feelings, and there's that feeling or sense of complete harmony in your being, that you're on track, that you're in the right place and space, that you're God positioned in your life. So when I think about that term, spiritual GPS, the first thing that came to my mind for the GPS acronym was global or God positioning system in this setting. God positioning system. And I think the other speakers may have also referred to it that way. And I thought, that's a really weird topic for unity. Because it kind of implies that God is somewhere and Spirit's going to lead us to God. Or that God's lost and we need to go find God. Well, here at Unity, we know where God is, don't we? Where's God, Sylvia? Everywhere. Where's God? Yeah, and God is within. Ken, God is within. Right? So, we're not really talking about finding something that's lost here at Unity. God is not lost. But I want to get clear about what we mean when we say God is within. We're not talking about being possessed by God. Okay, there isn't this little mini being inside of us that's operating us. That conjured up for me right away, you can see in my picture, from the movie Aliens, the scariest movie I ever saw. I had nightmares forever. Of when Sigourney Weaver, the character, straps herself into that steel exoskeleton and she takes on the alien monster. That's not what we mean here at Unity when we say God within. Okay? God is an experience. God is an expression. Really, more fully, God is just simply you and me. So, when we speak of spiritual GPS, God positioning system, it's not a thing that's lost that we're trying to locate. Okay, we're not trying to find God. We're trying to find the God experience or the God expression. So using our spiritual GPS really is a process of experiencing the 4 G's. Goodness, grace, growth, and gratitude. So when we activate our spiritual GPS, what we're trying to do, my friends, is bring into our life experience these 4 key things. Or we're trying to locate those 4 things in whatever is showing up in our lives. We're trying to locate the goodness in whatever's happening, no matter how bad it is. We're trying to find a place for grace. We're looking for opportunities for growth. And we're always remembering our gratitude. These are our 4 G's. So we are always feeling. I mean, even when we're sleeping, we're feeling beings. And our feelings motivate us to either act or not act. Generally, when we are not acting, we're afraid of something. But our feelings are always informing us how we're experiencing our life condition. And how we're experiencing our life condition really tells us whether or not we're operating out of our godness. Now, here at Unity, we're taught that people know when they're acting out of their God source. Well, how do they know that? Well, when their feelings are so good and so natural and feel so right. So we know we're aligned with our true nature, our God nature, when it's effortless. When it's effortless. Because our true nature, after all, is love. Love is the essence of who we are. So when we feel good, and we feel peace, and we feel love, we are in harmony with the truth of who we are. We're in harmony, harmonious alignment of feelings and thoughts. So, I got to ask you, do you instantly know sometimes when you meet a person that you're just going to click? That's your spiritual GPS. Do you ever have a decision you've been wanting to make and it's a big decision. It's a life-changing decision, like getting married or having children or retiring. Those big decisions. and that feeling or that sense, there's expectant joy or happiness or excitement. That's your spiritual GPS. It's saying, yes, do it, go for it. It's right. Have you also had, been in a relationship that you knew was hurting you? You knew it wasn't working. And you're fighting a voice of fear that says there's no one else there that's going to love me, or that person's going to change soon. Soon that person's going to change. And you can feel your soul begging you to move on, move out, move away. That's your spiritual GPS too. And do you ever get a nagging feeling that you need to do something different, like repair a leak in the basement before it becomes a flood? Yeah. That nagging feeling that won't let you alone is your spiritual GPS. So our job is simple. We just need to stay tuned in to recognize when things feel right and when things don't feel right. It's about recognizing the gut. What is the gut telling you? Why, oh, why do we ignore our gut feelings? They're informing us. Listen, we're not here to suffer. I know that's a shock to some of you, right? We're not here to suffer. We're not here to feel ugly or unfit or fearful or sad or ashamed. That's not our purpose for being here. But folks, when those feelings show up, you can trust that there's a circumstance in your life that you haven't got quite right, that you're off course, that you're lost, that you need to change something. Now, it's not always easy to know what that something is. I get that. But here's the good news. Our feelings are going to inform us instantly if we're getting it right or we're getting it wrong, and let us course correct. I think of a time I was holidaying in Vegas with a friend from Toronto, and we came to a busy pedestrian area on the Strip, and a beggar had set himself up in a chair with a cup, and he was a very large man, extremely intoxicated, and he had tipped over in his chair, and his pants had slid off of his hips, so his bare butt was in the air. And it was Vegas. It was busy. And I saw a group of people, young people, run and get together in a group and take a selfie with this man in the background. And I was struck by seeing how this man was in the middle of the sidewalk and no one saw him. So my spiritual GPS triggered. I'm heading straight toward him. I wanted to, at the very least, right him in his chair and get him into a more dignified position. My friends from Toronto, she sees street people all the time. She grabbed my arm and stopped me. She said, no, that's not safe. It's not safe to do that. Just keep going, keep going. And as she spoke, another group of young people ran up and positioned themselves for another selfie with this man's bare butt in the picture. And I took another move towards her. And I mean, my friend, to her credit, every day has trained herself to not see beggars in the street because she sees them every day. And in my little Woodstock, that's just not something. We know all our beggars by name, and we know that they're safe. We're in a little town. So I followed her lead and walked past this man. And can I tell you, I have never stopped thinking about him. I've never stopped feeling ashamed that I didn't listen to my spiritual GPS, that longed for me to show that man goodness and grace. It's in times like this that we have to question ourselves. Am I going in the direction of what is the pure expression of who I am, or am I lost? And as Reverend Laurie taught us last week, if your answer to that question is, I don't know, you can pause in that moment and invite love in to inform you. And know what is the right thing to do. What is the highest good I can do in this situation? How can I invite goodness, grace, growth, and gratitude into what I'm experiencing? If I had followed my spiritual GPS on that day, just think of how that day would have changed for that man, for me, and for maybe some of the people that were walking by without seeing him. I missed a God moment on that day. Are bad feelings bad? Well, bad feelings are really important to us, guys, because they inform us, right? They let us know that we simply need to recalculate something. And they tell us that we're off course. So they're really important to us. I really feel like in society today, there's a real trend, especially in social media, for us to ignore bad feelings or skip over them or replace them with something that's more comfortable and more convenient. But boy, I see a real danger in that. If you don't let the bad feelings inform you what's wrong in my life, if you skip over, you're going to miss what you need to know to get realigned, to get back into harmony. And I just think that's a recipe for disaster, my friends. It's a recipe for disaster. It's okay that bad feelings show up. It's not okay to lay in them, labor in them, but it's okay that they're there. Now, Sumunk Kidd, who is the author of one of my favorite books, The Secret Life of Bees, in her interview with Oprah on Super Soul Sundays, she said this about the soul. The soul often speaks through longing. It manifests a restlessness. And when the soul longs, it's trying to tell you something. Can you feel your soul longing? Begging you to change a situation in your life that maybe just isn't aligning with your vibration anymore. Maybe it's a job that you're in, or heck, a volunteer role that you're doing that just doesn't fit your life anymore. Maybe it's a relationship that isn't working out, and every time you go to address that, fear pops up. Fear's informing you, and it's maybe asking you to move on. Maybe you've got a dream vacation that you keep putting off and excusing away, and your soul keeps bringing it back into your face. That excuse, if I can't afford or I don't have time, just keeps getting challenged by your soul. Can you feel your soul's restlessness over something in your life that you haven't got quite right? I ignored my soul's restlessness for a long time in my job. My job was very, very stressful, and it was showing up in my personal relationships. It was showing up in my health, both mentally and physically. It was showing up in my depleted spirit. And my soul was longing for me to change, longing for me to change. And I had to kick ego in the butt. Pauline talked to us about this. Ego was trying to convince me that if I asked for a demotion at work, that that's a sign of failure, that that's shameful. But when I finally did it, when I finally kicked the ego in the butt and said, no, I'm listening to my soul's longing here, and I asked for a demotion, after 29 years, I asked for a demotion and was granted it, my life instantly got better. That's how fast it works. When we listen to our soul's longing, the reward is instant. It's instant. So the God experience is always waiting for us. Opportunities to experience goodness, grace, growth, and gratitude exist in even the worst of circumstances. Better yet, guys, opportunities to be goodness, be grace, be growth, and be grateful are everywhere if you choose them. If you choose them. Let love lead you. Always go in the direction of love. And when fear shows up, acknowledge it. Say, hey, thanks. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for informing me. And then change course to the direction where there is ease, love, and light. Like Georgia told us, stay inside your 2 feet of light. Abraham Hicks refers to this as paddling against the current. Paddle, 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 paddle. You're paddling upstream, so you're You're struggling, you're resisting, you're suffering, you're trying your hardest. And Abraham says, let go of the oars. Nothing that you need or want is upstream in all of that struggle. Always go in the direction of ease, love, and light. That's the direction of your godness. In my mind, the 3 reasons that we would use a geographical GPS are the same 3 reasons that we would use a spiritual one. We know where we want to go, but we don't know how to get there. We thought we knew where we were going, but we've become lost, and we need to become unlost. And we're on our way, but a new need arises within us that we need to seek out how to fill that need. So in all these ways, we can use our feelings to know where we want to go, to trust the gut. It's really, really important. Trust the gut. Look to your love nature. Your spiritual GPS is always turned on. You can't turn it off like you can a dashboard GPS, and it will always point you in the right direction. You're never going to go in the wrong direction when you're following your spiritual GPS. It's only a matter, really, to make it work, of our willingness to stay tuned in. So go for the 4 Gs. If what you're experiencing in life feels off, stop. Examine what you're doing. And look for the opportunity to take the God position. A position of goodness. A position of grace. A position of growth. And a position of gratitude. It's a simple formula. Tune in. Know what you're feeling. Let those feelings inform you. Don't ignore them. Let them inform you. Take your pause. Take your I don't know moment. And then look for the GPS. The God experience, the God expression position. And then become it. Let's take that into meditation. Settle into your chairs, my friends, and feel the chair supporting you. You are safe. You are safe. Breathe in to that center of peace. Invite peace as a feeling into your body. Tune in now to what you're feeling. What is the feeling calling for your attention? Name it. Is it contentment? Is it peace? Is it fear? Be aware of what you're feeling. And know that's your God source speaking to your soul. And find that feeling that you have wanted to ignore. Bring that feeling into your mind now and welcome it a little. And ask it, what are you trying to show me? I'm ready. I'm open. I know the way of love. Bring love into that feeling that makes you uncomfortable. Know that you're guided. Know that Spirit has your back. we're seeking harmony. Harmony between what we know and what we feel. We see two directions that we can choose: the way of fear and the way of love. We bravely and courageously choose the way of love. And so it is. Amen.
Alleluia, 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 alleluia,
And now it's our time for giving of your tithes and your offerings. We're so grateful that we have wonderful people joining our community, and we have a great absolute abundance class happening on Wednesday night. And so giving of your tithes is to share with the spiritual community that feeds you. If you've been holding an intention card, which are found at the back of the room, we invite you to put that in the offering bag as well. And let's affirm our blessings and our abundance together as we sing our song.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer White and Robert McMaster.
Okay, back into my comfort zone now. This is a tune that's inspired by a day, just probably a couple of weeks from now, as the leaves really start to change color. And if you like, you can go along in your imagination with this one. I find my favorite sweater that's been in the cedar chest all summer and pull it on. It's that lovely smell of cedar. And go out into the streets at cold, rainy day, sort of like today, and watch the autumn leaves do a jig in the autumn wind.
Jennifer White and Robert McMaster.
We are blessed. And I now invite you to join in blessing our offerings as we return to the spiritual center that feeds us, both our tithes, our offerings, and throughout the week and each day, our talents and abilities. We say, thank you, God. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, family all are we. Let we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And as we tune in to our spiritual GPS, let us remember Patty's reminder about love. And that when we look at each other, we see the face of God. When we look at the beggar on the street, we see the face of God, the essence of that loving spirit. And let us join in prayer with our closing prayer. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Yay, God.
Now, as Larry said earlier, there's a new focus in Unity on reaching out to people. Rather than trying to drag them in, we take our message out to them. That's what this song is all about, so please join us. Spread the word of what Unity can offer. Spread the word of the message that you heard. Spread the word of what it means to you in your life. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word of all the things we shared this morning. Spread the word that you're surrounded here by love. Spread the word that our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word to anyone who's lost and lonely. Spread the word as you go forward from this family. Spread the word. Here it welcomes all who come here. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word of all the things we shared this morning. Spread the word that you're surrounded here by love. Spread the word that our doors and hearts are open. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word. Spread the word, spread the word, spread the word.